Hello, welcome to Luigi's Gaming Lounge. It's Luigi Mario, and today we are recording episode 45. I am joined by Trip Hazard, aka
Barnaby, hello.
And also I'm joined by Commando Para, aka
Yo, it's your homeboy Tony. Yo, what up?
every time. How are you both doing? Are you both doing well?
Doing well, thank you. Doing well.
Lovely.
Very well, thanks for asking. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Been a bit under the weather this week, just like a viral thing, I think, but on the mend, so can't complain too much. But yeah, so this week I wanted to delve back into sort of the world of cloud gaming, and the reason for that is there's been a lot of rumours online, well-founded rumours, that we could see some type of device, whether it's like a stick or a box from Xbox that is solely for cloud gaming. So that's why, like I say, this week I want to discuss that, because now as time's going on, every day that goes by, the technology gets better. I honestly now can really see that there is a market, for this, even with Xbox, not just for PC gaming, because obviously you've got all your PC options for streaming games. But the one thing that I would like to say before I sort of ask you guys some questions is, what I would really like to see with cloud gaming is, at the moment, cloud gaming is only available for Game Pass games, Xbox Game Pass games. Are we going to get to a point with the cloud gaming where, say, if you purchase a digital game that isn't obviously within the Game Pass, that it will also have access to be able to play it in the cloud, whether or not they include just cloud gaming in general in your Game Pass Ultimate subscription, or whether there's an option to just purchase the digital version or the digital and cloud for like a few £1 extra or whatever. What's your guys' thoughts on that? I mean, is that something you'd like to see? Because personally, I would really like to see that. But Barnaby, we'll come to you, and
I think it's going to be inevitable. The way that when Netflix first came out, it only had a more limited selection. I mean, even nowadays, it's not the widest selection. But I think more and more is becoming available on Netflix and other similar streaming services, like Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and so forth. And I think the same is going to be true of games. Even now, I think digital purchases are probably taking a big inroads on retail physical disc copies. And I think we're only going to see that accelerate. And I think generally that would be a good thing, as long as it keeps cost down for the consumer. I mean, things like an all-you-can-eat type streaming service, like Xbox's Game Pass, are ideal, because you can choose from a wide selection of games for a fixed fee, which I think is really good value. So as long as it's a good value subscription service, I think it's inevitable that a lot of games releases will go that way in the future. And it'll make it easier to access on different devices as well.
Yeah, definitely. Tony, I mean, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, again, just to echo what Barnaby said, it's inevitable. It's funny you say this, mate. I was actually speaking to a colleague today, and I'll get to what relation it has to it, but he started with BT, British Telecoms, for those who are listening abroad, in 1997. And I said, what were some of the projects that you got involved in? And he actually touched on that. They were trialling and advertising movies for people to watch movies from home via their broadband. And even he said, nah, that won't happen. Yeah, okay, whatever. And he did a couple of weeks, and he was like, nah, it's a waste of time. It's never going to happen. You've got the cinema or Blockbuster, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Lo and behold,
Blockbuster, those are the days.
Those are the days. Yeah, you got to take it back. You have no more than two. I used to watch Jackie Chan. Who am I? But no. Anyway, getting back on topic. Topic. Yeah. So we're talking about that. It's funny to talk about this, and again, I think trying to give the consumer a wide range of games whilst they're on the move, and you look at these big empire sort of giants like Amazon Prime to Netflix to Spotify.
Yeah.
We all like a movie. We all like music. We all like gaming. But let's touch on movies and music here. We like music. It's something that we can all sort of run away and escape to and listen to music that we have that tickle taste buds, as well as movies. Different thrillers, crimes, comedies, so on and so forth. They've been more successful in the last 10 to 15 years via a streaming service that you pay a monthly fee for, compared to saying, "Oh, I want to buy this album, but that's going to cost me £10, and then I'm going to buy that album." Well, you look at that, you've got an array of music, array of films that you could watch, so you don't have to spend £100 within a week of several albums or several movies. You've got it with a click of a button. So with that being said and done, I think for those who wish to game, who are more mobile, whether they're catching a flight, going overseas, in the camper van, away for work, they don't wish to take their console with them. Again, it's if you've got a streaming service like the Xbox service at the moment, the Game Pass, I think that's fantastic value, and we've discussed this in earlier episodes.
Yeah,
I think it's a win, mate. And if anything, if I may, sort of finish on this, if you're going to have a streaming service, there's going to be more enjoyment, and it's going to be less landfill waste, so to speak, with materials that are going to be used to manufacture a hard case game. So if it's going to be open to the wider audience, for those who are least deprived, to get a day release and to have access to their gaming profile whilst they're working away or wherever they are, if they're overseas on holiday, then it's a tick, tick, tick for me, mate.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The other streaming service that I'll sort of highlight with this is, for example, NVIDIA GeForce Now subscription. That one, how that works. So you pay, I think the normal one is around $8.99 a month, and you don't actually get any games included. Well, oh, sorry, no, there are a few games included in that, but you can link your Steam library, your Epic library, Origin, and so games that you actually purchase digitally will then become available to you through the cloud. And that's the part that I really hope Xbox sort of lean in that direction also, so that it's not, the cloud service isn't just for those Game Pass games. Like I said, you imagine like your whole library of games that you have are then available on the cloud. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So it's quite an exciting thing to think about. Now,
yeah, I mean, I think any service that progresses in the future has got to have a wide selection of games.
Yeah,
and the Xbox Game Pass is pretty good. You can go on there, and there's always a few on there which you can see are available ready for streaming.
Yeah,
but it's not every single title.
Yes, yeah.
But I think as the service progresses, you're going to see more and more titles, close to 100%, I think, that will be available for streaming rather than the traditional download and play.
Yeah, no, definitely. Now, whilst we're still on the subject of cloud gaming, I did mention that there's obviously a lot of rumour going around about some form of device from Xbox that is a streaming only device. Now, I can see this happening because, for example, I mean, let's talk about the likes of Amazon Fire Stick, Now TV sticks, etc. Now, they are literally there to serve as something that runs runs a streaming app. So it's totally plausible that Xbox can bring out their own stick or box that is only for cloud gaming. The only part of me that thinks I'm unsure about that is the fact that obviously the Game Pass is an app. On Android, for example, you can download from the Play Store. So in one sense, I feel like, is there a need for a device, like solely just a streaming device? But I'd argue that yes, there is a need for it. I mean, if you've got something, say, that's under £100, and it's dedicated to Xbox, you may even be able to still, I should imagine, like I said, like the Amazon Fire TV sticks and things, where you can install Netflix, etc., all them sort of apps on it. So that then becomes your sort of media hub for your games, your TV shows, movies, music, etc. Obviously, Xbox branded. You might find that whatever they make it with, like whatever processor, etc., it might be better than your current like streaming box or stick that you have, because obviously at the moment the Game Pass isn't actually officially compatible with Android TV. I believe you can sort of sideload it, because I've done all that, but it's not an official release. And I've always wondered, how come they've not made it official yet? And maybe this might be a reason. Maybe they're holding off on that too.
Well, just on that subject, how are you finding the performance on your Android TV?
Yeah, I mean, well, when I say Android TV, so for example, I am gonna make a what's the word I'm looking for?
Excuse.
No, not an excuse. Not an excuse. Hold on. Right, NVIDIA Shield, Barnaby. Okay, there we go. I said it.
It's the first mention. You got it in early this week.
I did. So the NVIDIA, the NVIDIA Shield TV.
Your official sponsors.
Yeah, I wish. But no, the NVIDIA Shield TV. That's an Android box, and it does run Android TV rather than obviously the mobile version. And so obviously that's my experience for using it through that. Is it smooth? I would say for the most part, yes. You can. It's not perfect, and I feel like if Xbox actually put the work in for a specific Android TV app, they could make it fantastic. But yeah, it can be rough around the edges, but it gets the job done. You're able to play.
These are all hypothetical, but they are teething problems. But again, we wouldn't be where we are today if Xbox didn't release their first Xbox with Halo, and that's an example. But it's another stepping ladder. There are going to be teething problems, but they'll get through it, and we'll really benefit from it.
Well, this is the thing. Like I say, because it's not. Obviously, I've tested it on the NVIDIA Shield TV box, and it's the app isn't sort of official for Android TV.
Was it quite an in-depth process to get it side-loaded, or was it fairly straightforward?
No, very, very simple. Very simple to do. And obviously with the Xbox controllers being Bluetooth, you just sort of, connect it up through Bluetooth, through the NVIDIA box, and off you go sort of thing. But yeah, like I said, I think my issue mainly is the connection generally is good. My issue is I feel like the resolution's not great, and I say that because I imagine on because if you think about it, this app is
Sorry, what size TV we're talking, just to get an idea of the resolution?
well, I've used it on a 42 and I've used it on a 55.
Yeah, and even on the 42, the resolution wasn't great.
In actual fact, I would say possibly on the 42 it was worse. I don't know.
Oh my word!
And they're both TVs are connected through Ethernet. You know, both.
I'm guessing the 55 was smoothing out the edges then somehow.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It might even.
So what you say? We're talking like 720, are we, or
Yeah,
worse than
see,
that?
this is the thing. This is what I'm thinking is obviously because you're side loading the mobile app, it's obviously targeting whatever resolution. So, for example, let's say 720p on a screen as small as a phone or even a 10-inch tablet.
Although
720p.
a lot of phones nowadays are pushing out 1080 or even greater.
Yeah, definitely. But obviously,
But yeah.
at 720, that's still going to look good on your phone or on your tablet. Now, onto a TV, 720, you can now, especially with larger TV sizes over 32 inch,
You're going to see the pixels.
you can, yeah, these days you can. I mean, I don't know, I'm sure Game Pass cloud service targets 720p, or has that checked? Let's check whilst we're on stream, shall we?
You know what would be interesting to see though, if you were to have that connected to a projector. You know that it's going to be very faded with the color and pixelated. You'd be theoretically playing an Atari or something like a Nintendo. And
Yeah.
but yeah.
Going all retro.
Well, it's saying here because if you remember I think it was towards the end of last year, they did upgrade the cloud service to use the hardware that's powered by the Xbox Series X. So it targets now 60 frames per second and 1080p streams, but is that solely through the actual Xbox cloud streaming, or is that the app?
That's the thing.
You know,
You'd think they'd want the highest performance out of Xbox itself, even streamed, wouldn't you?
yeah, exactly.
And then everything else is going to play second fiddle. But I think it may just be a question of time, because as servers get more powerful,
Yeah,
broadband gets faster, you should see higher frame rate, higher resolution.
yeah, definitely.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, look, we don't even know what the max we can put down on our network at the moment. You got your standard 300 meg, but you don't know what sort of speeds you can get down. They've not tested really. It's still going through the tests for how much you can actually put down there. So I think again we've talked about on earlier channels episodes that technology is always going to keep moving forward, and as they keep going through this teething sort of process, they'll be able to find out what the tolerance is and find out what is going to be more suitable. But if not, if there's any sort of tweaks they need to do, it's great, and then they'll ask for feedback from consumers as well, what they'd like to see or what their experience is, from these E3 events and that. So, but I think going on your point in regards to like a stick, like a Now TV or Amazon Fire Stick. Again, my example is, you remember when I in December I was in Croydon, London, for a couple of days for a course with work, a couple of things, and I mentioned to you that I was like, I was streaming, casting my phone from my Xbox streaming app to play GTA 5 to the hotel TV. However, there was about a 2-second delay. Yeah. So that meant that I was crashing into people or falling off cliffs if I was driving a buggy up there. Yeah. So there was a massive delay. But if you have that stick that's dedicated to a plug-in service, i.e. a TV, for you can plug and go, then I think it's a win-win. The only thing you've got to say is, if I'm going to stay in a hotel, I need to make sure that I take my Xbox Fire Stick, my Xbox stick with me to ensure that I don't leave it at the hotel because it's going to cost me 80, 100 to 120 pound. So, but I think a stick that is dedicated to a service like Amazon Fire stick, like Now TV. If you had an Xbox stick that was dedicated to streaming games, yeah, I'd be really interested in that. I don't want to be casting from my phone when I want my phone to be accessible so I can do other things on it instead of closing down the actual text.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget as well, Microsoft is actually developing the app for TVs, so it's sort of baked in direct to your TV. So, I mean,
I think it depends on how much value you're going to get from this streaming stick, because if it's only a small performance boost ahead of something like, say, an Amazon Fire Stick, then I'd probably just stick with that.
Well, as far as I'm aware, the Amazon Fire, because I've tried, I've side-loaded the Game Pass app onto a Fire Stick, and I've not yet been able to get it to run.
No, just for an example, but just say comparable Android devices. Because you can get things very similar to a Fire Stick, but just like raw Android.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I'm thinking about. So, I mean, Barnaby, you've had experience on your Xbox console with cloud streaming, and obviously I have as well. Now, if I compare the streaming I did on the console to the Nvidia Shield TV with the app side loaded, the direct off the console wins hands down, because it was decent quality for me. Even resolution wise, I didn't have.
Well, I think it's always going to be the case that current gen console is probably the next best thing to having a high end PC.
Yeah. But I think
even in terms of streaming, because they're just optimized for that fast broadband and fast graphics output.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, I think if let's say let's just call it an Xbox game stick, right? Let's just use that hypothetically.
Trademark.
Yeah.
All the royalties from Microsoft coming in.
Yeah, right. Right. So let's say we plug that into your TV. Now, imagine the operating system of that is very similar to how the menus are of your Xbox console, but obviously instead of being able to run a game natively, it's all cloud only. So you can still look in your libraries, you do, but obviously only the games that are available through cloud can be obviously played on it. And again, the Xbox also has a section for apps. So again, I say, you'll be able to install, Netflix, Sky Go, all those sort of apps that you want that are streaming apps. I still think that it's going to be optimized much better than, for example, side-loading an app onto an unsupported device. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
The optimization is going to be a lot better on that dedicated device. So I can I can see a use for it. And again,
I think it just depends the value. I think
yes,
if it provides a significant improvement all of the time consistently, then it's probably worth it. But if it's inconsistently or not really noticeable,
that's what I mean. I mean, if they pull off a device like this where it's extremely consistent, you're getting 1080p, no lag, or extremely minimal, because obviously with streaming, you're never going to totally eliminate any type of lag. But if they can sort of do that with this device, I definitely see a market for it. I mean, again, how powerful do you need this device to be? And the answer to that is not that powerful, because obviously it is relying on internet connection mainly. So I can imagine that they could release a device somewhere in the region of somewhere between £50 to £80 that, and in that price range, I can see people who do travel a lot but still have access to an internet connection. I can see people purchasing that. Say they've got an Xbox at home, but they do a lot of travelling for work or whatever else, and you know, a little stick or a small box they can just shove in their luggage or their backpack, whatever, with their controller, you know, and you're set to game anywhere there's a TV and an internet connection. So.
Completely agree. My only concern would be, and again, this is something that I'll probably hash out. You remember when I got my first Fire Stick, Luigi?
Yeah.
And you said, right, put the adaptation onto it because it helps sort of cool it down to a degree, it stops it from overheating. Yeah. My concern would be, because it wouldn't have a large cooling system or none at all, would they integrate something or, you know, add on a cooling system so it doesn't overheat? You know, we've had it with the Fire Stick where it's overheat. You know, you have to turn it off, give it a couple of minutes, then restart it, or you can really feel the heat from it because of its constant use.
I think
that's all the fire inside.
Yeah, brilliant. No, I think. I mean, that Fire Stick that you're on about there, Tony, I think that was one of the first gen Fire Sticks, so it was still fairly early in terms of streaming, you know, devices. I think from then, streaming devices in general have come a heck of a long way. So the chance of them making that mistake with a device like this, I think, is very minimal, because obviously it's not a device that you're running the game natively on. You are just relying on that internet connection and a little bit of processing power from the device. But yeah, I don't see that's going to be an issue. Like I said, with the sort of the leaps of how far we've come with streaming technology. But yeah, no, I understand what you're saying there. But yes, like I said, I think you guys are right. You know, I think you two are right in terms of it's inevitable. Like I said, that thing about being able to play the games that you've purchased in the cloud, I would love to see that. I think, you know, that's sort of a next big step, and hopefully they get that done. Now, I know we've spoken, because this is obviously about Xbox, because regarding like the rumoured device, but let's not forget, guys, PlayStation. I know they're doing their own sort of still codename Spartacus, but since they announced PlayStation Now quite a few years back, I have been waiting for them to release an Android app. Why have they not done it? Xbox have done it so that you can play games on your phone, you know, full games in the cloud. PlayStation have that technology. You know, you can do it on your PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. If you've got a PlayStation Now subscription, you can play in the cloud. You know, I just wish PlayStation would put that effort into opening the doors to people who don't own consoles and do game on phones and tablets and whatnot, because I reckon the subscription service would skyrocket personally if they made a dedicated Android app or iOS app or both, whatever. Because you know, PlayStation's got some bloody good games. But yeah,
I really want to play it.
Well, Affy Benz, did I tell you Affy Benz has got it?
Yeah.
I did say to him that we're going to have to get him on here once he's played enough of it to feel comfortable to sort of give us a good review of it and what he thinks and likes, dislikes.
Opinion.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll have him on shortly, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, possibly. depending how far he is into the game. But no, so on that note regarding the streaming services, I think we're going to leave that there, and we will go on to our lovely segment that we do every week now. But just before we do that, any guys out there who would like to contact us here at Luigi's Gaming Lounge, do not forget you can email us at luigisgaminglounge@gmail.com. That's luigisgaminglounge@gmail.com. Any questions you've got for us, shoot them over. And also, selfish little plug here, but go follow Luigi 8 Mario on any and all socials. Go follow Luigi's Gaming Lounge anywhere you see it. Help us out; it'd be much appreciated. So, guys.
Alternatively,
So, guys, now we are going to be doing Trash or Stash. Barnaby, trash or stash? I think we're going to start with you today, so rather than myself. So would you like to throw us your stash, please?
Yeah, sure, yeah. So I'm going for Dreamcast-themed games this week.
Okay.
So my first one, somewhat obscure. I don't know if you heard it or not, but it's a racing game called Revolt.
Yes, I have heard of it. Isn't that like an RC game?
It is. So
Yes.
it kind of straddles kind of like simulation and kind of arcadiness.
Okay.
Because the RC cars kind of handle in the way that you'd expect radio control cars to.
Mm-hmm.
And the actual maps themselves are scaled with the radio control. So you're around a museum, around a neighborhood, around like a basement or a cruise ship. So various different locations.
Okay.
Which makes it quite interesting. But also you get things like weapons and power-ups as well. So that's kind of like a Mario Kart vibe as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which is like really good fun. One of the best things was you got to unlock different cars as you progressed.
Right.
So you started off with like a basic selection of cars.
Yeah.
And you gradually got faster and more powerful cars as you went on.
Nice.
So it's just like really cool. Good multiplayer as well. And it's just an all-round good, fun game, and I spent many an hour on that. So it's one of my favourite Dreamcast races. In fact, one of my favourite Dreamcast games of all time.
Awesome. I've not, as far as I can remember, I've not played that one myself.
It's also available on PC.
Ah, okay.
You can get it through GOG.com. Last time I checked.
Okay. Yeah, the only game I've played that's possibly similar to that is... I don't know if you ever played MotorStorm RC.
I have not, no.
Yeah, so I'm guessing you know the game MotorStorm.
Nope.
Oh, Barnaby! Do you honestly not?
No, what format's it on?
PlayStation. The first.
Yes.
Yeah, PlayStation 3.
Now.
Well, it did.
Oh, no, I didn't do PlayStation 3.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So
Xbox 360, that, Jed.
Okay, yeah. Well, so it was... MotorStorm itself was just like a crazy racing game, all different vehicles.
Forza.
Well,
but
sort
much,
of, but not
yeah,
open world.
At the early stages.
And yeah, no, it was just a really good game. But then they did, like I say, they bought out MotorStorm RC. That got released on the PlayStation Vita and the PlayStation 3. I initially had that one on the PlayStation Vita, the handheld. But yeah, that was extremely fun. And like you said, it did give you a feel for like actually driving like an RC car. It was good, really good.
I used to have, you see a lot of these RC cars. We used to have a Grasshopper as well. Obviously, that they were amazing. Yeah, just used to jump and jump, taking a ramp as a kid. But yeah, MotorStorm, I remember seeing that as a kid in Toy Story, mate, and playing that. Honestly, I remember it was completely different to racing games at that stage, and it was dirt roads, different vehicles. It was quality game, mate. And I saw it as a bit like a because it give you that adrenaline pump. It's a bit like Forza for me, Horizon. It was like the early stages of it wasn't a disco, but just because there was so much competitiveness and so much going on. You're like, whoa, what's going on? I remember it now. Quality, quality game.
It was an awesome game. But yeah, so for Barnaby's stash, Revolt. So I have seen it. Like I said, I think that's why I knew about that it was to do with RC cars, but I've just not been hands on with it. So
it's good fun.
Yeah,
it's good fun.
One to have a look at. Tony, can you throw me your stash, please?
I can indeed. It is Abe Odyssey.
Have you not already? I thought you've done this one. No?
No, we spoke about it. I didn't come on.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Go on then.
Yeah. Abe Odyssey. Quality game. Played a couple of the Abes. I was a little bit scared when I was a kid. But as time's gone on, you know me, I like a strategy game. And for this is probably where it all kicked off for me. Just trying to go through each section, getting past some of the guards, solving puzzles and trying to get out there. It's a quality game. It was just something that I remember quite frequently about having only a selection of games and on the PlayStation, and Abe Odyssey was that game for me.
Yeah, I think that game was in everyone's collection. It's a very good game. Yeah. No, it was a very good game.
Yeah, it'd be good to revisit that, really. We talk about this, but again, we've got this sort of catalogue of games that we all want to revisit now. And I think when we do our sort of Luigi's Gaming Lounge host gaming session, I think we'll probably have to sort of share bits with with the listeners and sort of really go through that catalogue of games that we want to play again or reminisce or even try that we never had the opportunity of playing.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, thank you very much for your stash. So, my turn to give you guys my stash. Now, it's not so much a single title. I'm gonna bundle the two games in.
Cheating.
Well, no, because I feel it's worth it.
Because you're the host, you can make up the rules. I get it.
Well, no, because in a sense, it's like it's a franchise, so to speak. And I'm
going to pick 6 games next week because they're all part of the same franchise.
They're all part of the same developer.
Okay. Well, the thing is, if
all the same format, so it still counts.
Leave me alone. So
we love you, really.
This is one of those games that I think. Let's have a look. It. I think initially it didn't get that great reviews. Yeah, you see.
Tell us, man.
Sorry, I'm just looking. Okay, so the game. I'll do one game then. The game is Homefront.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Is that the North Korean invasion one?
Yes.
I've heard of that, not played it.
I thought it was an absolutely fantastic game. I got absolutely...
Kind of reminds me of that old 80s film, Red Dawn.
Yes, Red Dawn. It's an absolutely fantastic game. One of the things I really seem to remember from this game is what really impressed me also was the audio. The gun sounds in this game, I felt especially at the time, were phenomenal. Like I don't know, that's just, sometimes when you play games something just sticks out and it's something that you remember about the game. That is that for me with Homefront. I loved the idea of, sort of this, how can I say, like a revolution building up and fighting against the oppressor and whatnot. So yeah, it was just, the storyline was fantastic. Gameplay for me was good. You see, and this is the other thing. I feel, because it's an FPS game, I feel, especially closer to that time, that people were constantly looking to Call of Duty games as like the standard of FPS. But
that is the problem. When a big shot comes along, then everything else is compared to it.
Yeah, and Homefront, it was a little bit clunky, but to me, it was clunky in a good way. It felt like it felt like when you was running and things like that, and it because of the clunk to it. I don't know. For me, it just
felt like it had a bit of weight to it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it just felt like it was even more immersive, and yeah. So obviously, I've said now, so I'm just going to say it. The second game, Homefront: The Revolution, that was very poorly received, and personally, I don't think that deserves the poor reception. Homefront: The Revolution took things to the next level in the sense of the first game, it was linear. Homefront: The Revolution was all open world, and my goodness, I mean, I'm playing through it at the moment because I did play through some of it on PlayStation 4 a few years back.
But only 10 minutes.
No, a bit more than that. But no, I've started it again, and yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, the open world aspect to this game is so good because, like I said, your sort of revolution rising up against these oppressors, and you've got like your network of people that are trying to help you, and it's just fantastic. If you haven't played it, please, I beg you guys, please go and play it. It's actually, in actual fact, I'm going to get people to spend their money right now. If you're on
same as usual,
yeah. If you're on Xbox, you can actually purchase the second game, Homefront: The Revolution. It's on sale for £2.99 now. £2.99. You need to go buy that. Okay, and it's got it's had the added frame rate boost that they've done to 60 frames a second.
I feel like sometimes you merge into one of the shopping channels. Get it now while stocks last.
Sorry, Luigi. Yeah, sorry, Luigi. Breaking news: $2.99. Back to you in the studio.
Well, the thing is,
that's what it's like.
Some people might not realise that the game's on sale at the moment.
It's Luigi's home shopping channel.
Believe me,
QVC.
believe me now, for £2.99 on the Xbox Store, that is the best £2.99 you're going to spend in a long time. Let me tell you, people. I'm only getting £1 commission off each sale, don't I?
You can buy it then.
I've spoken long enough on that, so yeah, that's my stash. Homefront. Barnaby, can you throw me your trash now, please?
Oh, I can throw you my trash.
Yeah.
Yes. So my trash game is another Dreamcast game, Aero Wings. Now, I really loved Pilot Wings on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And even though it was a really simplistic game, it was just a lot of fun. Had a lot of different styles of flying in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hoping for something similar with Aero Wings, but a bit more high octane. So in Aero Wings, it's all jet fighters or jet planes. Not necessarily doing any dogfighting, but formation flying. In a similar way to how in Pilot Wings you pass through rings, for example, to score points. You'd perform maneuvers in Aero Wings to score points.
Okay.
But it was just very dry. It kind of there was very little of the fun element to it.
Right.
And it was all about sort of learning and going through the maneuvers. Yeah, it's not a fun game at all. Graphically, it's fine. Not the most impressive game, especially if you look back at it nowadays. But at the time, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, controls are okay. Everything was okay, but the fun element just wasn't there. And if you're not having fun while playing a game, then why bother? Going in the trash.
Fair enough. Very valid reasons there. So thank you very much for that, Barnaby. And Tony, can you throw me your trash, please?
Yes, so for me, and I really thought about this, and I'm really hoping for the reaction, a reaction here, mixed reviews. I disliked Spyro. For me, Spyro wasn't for me. I think
Never
it
played
was
it, can't say.
really, yeah.
Yep.
So
I
I
know I
remember
went off
playing.
platformers when they went 3D.
Okay.
All right. Well, I remember the my sister getting this for a birthday present. However, I wasn't allowed to play it, so I always had that sort of disconnection with it as a child and seeing it as a negative. But when
Did
she
you
was
did
out
you
with her,
secretly resent Spyro? It's like
yeah,
forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
yes, it was. Yeah, yeah, it was like yeah. And so I did play it a couple of times when she was out with her friends or listening to her Green Day album. But for me, I didn't like it. It was too colourful. It was too magical. It was just a bloody dragon running around, and he couldn't fly, and it was absolutely pants. So for me,
And there's very
Spyro's on the
little,
game.
if I remember correctly, there's very little you can actually set on fire as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And if you're going to be a
exactly,
fire-breathing dragon, you want to like burn down villages.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. You just this pathetic toy dragon that hasn't. It was just a really pants
I
game.
don't. Somehow, I don't think they were aiming for like the dragons out of like Skyrim, for example. It was more of a.
Well, that's where they went wrong.
It was more of a children's
Yeah.
style.
Kids, what do they know?
Yeah, Spyro's probably about what 30 now. He's probably 30 years of age. You know, he might be fat, he might be tonk. You don't know, but
He might be doing a podcast.
yeah, he might be doing a podcast. But I thought it was a pants game, and I was hoping to get some mixed reviews here. And I'd love to hear what the viewers think of that because again, it was I know plenty of people who loved it,
Yeah.
and like myself, plenty of people who disliked the game.
Yeah. I mean, I had a
just
look
thought it
at
was absolutely tosh.
yeah, I had a look at the video footage of it, and it just didn't really appeal to me. So
I think the only section it was, I can't remember which island it was that you flew to through a portal. Obviously, you're collecting these gems,
yeah,
but there was a track that you could fall off. But when you press the square button, he does a charge, like a sprint motion charge, and you can control him, and he goes around this circuit. But if you fall off, you lose momentum. That was probably the only good bit, but that was probably just as good as Crash Bandicoot go-karts. Karts, and that was a brilliant game. But Crash Bash, that we're going off topic there. But for Spyro was crap. Well, sorry, I've been really harsh about that. It wasn't a game for me, and that's why it's in the trash.
Fair enough.
fair point. Yeah,
Thank you for throwing your trash, but I'm very reluctant.
Now. My heart rate's gone up.
I'm very reluctant to drop this one in the trash bin, but I suppose I have to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you for that, Tony. And so we're left with me now. This game here actually was kind of recommended by one of the loungers. Okay, I'll say his name, Andy. And out of time Ecto 1, Andy.
it's a good thing he's not here tonight.
It is.
Yeah, and this could be an ending of a long relationship. Friendship.
Now, the game in question that I'm chucking in my trash is a game called Man Eater. Have you guys seen it?
Oh, the shark game.
Yes, the shark game.
I've seen it. I've not played
Wait a
it.
minute. Man Eater. Yes, I played it. Yes, I did play it.
Yeah, so don't get
When it
me
came
wrong.
out,
guessing you're not impressed with it, then.
release. It was a day release.
I think I put almost 2 hours into it, and I was thinking to myself, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. And it got to the point where I was almost 2 hours in, and I was thinking to myself, I'm really not enjoying this game. Like, how much, how long do I have to play this before I actually start to enjoy it? And
I get that vibe.
yeah, to me, I feel like, if a game does that to you, then,
I think that's the thing, though. If you're just like plodding on, it's work. It's not fun. It's not a game. It's work.
Exactly. You're trying to get to a point where you can actually go, oh, actually, yeah, this game's good. But you shouldn't have. What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have to be nearly 2 hours into a game. You know.
Luigi, I'm completely with you on that, mate. I played it on release and I thought it was hilarious for the first hour. And then it got repetitive, you're eating these people, you're doing these jumps in the airs and then taking out these people, hooligans who are trying to, shoot at you. However, I was the same. I was going in depth to what I was following the ocean, eating certain fish, trying to, stay alive and get through these obstacles.
Yeah,
I was the same. I lost interest. I never played it again. And I think I probably gave it about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And the first hour, it's great. But God, the trailer made it look good. But
that's what I think. Yeah, I think that's the issue with it, is because it is a different game. It's not a game that, there's not hardly anything else out there like it. So initially when you play it, it is sort of like, oh, this is quite cool. But then that, for me, that very quickly wore off. The novelty of it wore off extremely quickly.
I think that's the thing. It's nice to have an original, innovative game, but it's got to have a solid gameplay behind it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a nice concept. It's just a novelty.
Yeah, because
it's definitely an arcade game. It's definitely a game that you play in the arcade and insert £1, and that's it. That's how I felt.
Well, it does go in depth. To be fair, like, they have got quite an in-depth system. You can upgrade your shark and put all sorts of armour on the blooming thing, and it goes all crazy. But no, I just didn't see myself wanting to spend that time to do that. So for me, Maneater is going in the trash. So, what do you think? What do you think, guys? Do you think we've all chosen well today? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's enough. Other than Tony's quite controversial choice of Spyro.
No, I support that.
That's fair enough.
There's too many platformers out there.
Yeah, fair
that's
enough.
Brilliant. I'll pay. I'll send you over the money later for doing that, mate. Yeah,
nice one. Usual account, please.
Yeah, okay. I'll see the offshore account. Yeah. Okay.
That's the one.
Rolling with the big boys, are we? Right, so that's the end of Trash or Stash. So, as usual, at the end of Trash or Stash, I do give you guys the contact email address, so I'll do that again right now. So if there's anything there, any games that you agree or disagree with us stashing or trashing, please do let us know, and you can do so by emailing luigisgaminglounge@gmail.com. That's luigisgaminglounge@gmail.com. Let us know, if you think we're wrong, we're right in what we've decided. But on that note, guys, I think we're going to wrap up, and this is going to be the first episode for a little while that we've been under the hour mark.
Hey.
Wow.
I didn't think that was possible with Tony being on. Oh,
Hey. Right, that's it. I know my leave. I shall grab my hat and my coat, and I shall leave and not look back. Give you the other cheek.
Hey. Hello, sexy banana. I love you, really.
Banana. Yeah, I know.
But no, guys,
we're a lovely family here.
Of course. So that's been episode 45 of Luigi's Gaming Lounge. Thank you very much to everyone listening. Thank you very much to Tony and Barnaby for joining me this evening. Just before we do go, don't forget, guys, if you're listening on Spotify or even, I believe, Apple Music, you can help us out by leaving a rating. Hit that 5-star button for us. You want to. It helps us out a lot. But no, we appreciate you guys. And we'll see you in episode 46. So see you later, guys. Peace out. Bye.